When I first looked at this week's GTA Online bonuses, I thought, yeah, Rockstar really wants us to work for our money this week. We've got 3x money on a bunch of these smaller jobs, and then some activities are paying 4x. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the problem. A 4x bonus doesn't automatically mean good money. So instead of sitting here and telling you, this is 4x, go play it, I'm actually going into GTA Online and testing these jobs myself. I'm going to see how long each one takes, how much money I actually get, what can go wrong, and most importantly, which one is actually worth repeating if you're trying to make money. Because if I spend 10 minutes doing a job and walk away with less money than something I can finish in 2 minutes, I'm not doing that job again. So let's test everything and see where this week's bonuses actually stand. Before I start driving around Los Santos like a delivery driver with a gun license, here's what's getting boosted. We've got 3x GTA dollar and RP on, paper route deliveries, firefighter jobs, forklift operator work, QuickiePharm deliveries, safeguard deliveries, and community series activities. Then we've got 4x GTA dollar and RP on, hot ring circuit races, free mode challenges, and free mode events. On paper, that sounds like a pretty good week. But we're not judging the update from the menu. We're judging it from the bank account. And I'm starting with QuickiePharm because this one looks simple enough. All right, first up, we're testing QuickiePharm. For this one, the game gives us a car and sends us around Los Santos to complete the deliveries. The first location pops up and we're heading to El Burro Heights, Capitol Boulevard. And honestly, this is where things started going wrong for me. I'm trying to get there quickly, but Los Santos traffic is doing what Los Santos traffic does best. Cars everywhere. I'm squeezing through gaps, trying to save time, and then, boom, straight into another car. And unfortunately, that wasn't my only crash. I ended up crashing into a lot of traffic during this run, and every time I hit something, the supplies inside the car took more damage. So now I've got 2 problems. I need to finish the deliveries quickly, but I also need to keep the supplies from getting completely destroyed. And that's easier said than done. First delivery finally completed. But after all those crashes, the supplies have already taken quite a bit of damage. And I've still got several deliveries left. So from this point, I'm trying to drive a little more carefully while still keeping a decent pace. Because if I keep smashing into cars like this, that 3x bonus isn't going to look nearly as impressive when we reach the final payout. All right, next up, we're becoming firefighters. And this time, we're starting in downtown Vinewood, Alta Street. The first call comes in, we've got a house fire. So let's get the fire truck over there and see how quickly we can handle this. We finally reach the house. There's fire everywhere. So I'm getting the hose out and starting to work my way around the building. There's a lot to put out here, but after a little bit of spraying, we've got the first fire under control. First job done, but we're not finished yet. The next call comes in, and this one isn't another house fire. We've got a cat that needs to be rescued. So now I'm going from fighting fires to playing animal rescue. I get over there, deal with the situation, and rescue the cat. And honestly, after all the chaos in the first job, this one was actually a nice change. Cat rescued, back in the fire truck, and we're moving on to the next emergency. And now we've got a car accident, so we're heading over to the crash site. There's a vehicle involved, the area is a mess, and we've got another fire that needs to be put out. I'm getting the hose out again, and slowly working through the flames. This one takes a little longer, but eventually, there we go. Fire's out. Another job completed. So after doing the house fire, rescuing the cat, and then dealing with the car accident, let's see what the game actually paid us. The payout is around $21,750. It's not terrible, but here's the problem. By the time you factor in the driving, the size of the fire truck, and the amount of time you're spending on each emergency, I don't think this is something I'd grind purely for money. If you enjoy the firefighter missions, definitely give them a shot. They're actually pretty fun when you're not treating them like a spreadsheet. But if we're talking strictly about money per minute, I think there are better options this week. Now let's move on to paper route. And one thing I want to make clear here, I'm using the bike the mission gives you. So we're doing this exactly with the equipment provided by the activity. The objective is simple. We've got a route with 10 newspaper deliveries. Get to each location, deliver the newspaper, and keep moving. The faster we finish, the better our final payout can be. So let's see how this actually performs. First delivery, done. Second, done. And honestly, the bike feels pretty good for this. It's not ridiculously fast, but you don't really need it to be. The main thing is keeping your route clean and not wasting time going back and forth across the map. We're already halfway through. 5 deliveries done, 5 left. The only annoying part is that you actually have to get into the right position to make the delivery. You can't just fly past the house and expect the game to count it, so I'm slowing down just enough to make sure each newspaper actually reaches the destination. Number 8, done. Number 9, done. And we've got the final delivery. Let's get over there. Line it up, throw the newspaper, and there we go. All 10 deliveries completed. Now let's see what we got. Around $66,000 for the run. And considering I used the bike provided by the mission, that's actually pretty decent. It's quick enough to finish without feeling like a chore, and there's no complicated setup involved. So out of everything I've tested so far, paper route is definitely one I'd consider repeating. Now we're going to do something completely different. We're becoming a forklift operator. Yes, a forklift. GTA Online really said, you've robbed banks, stolen supercars, fought mercenaries. Now go move these boxes. So the basic idea is pretty straightforward. You get inside the forklift, pick up pallets, put them onto the conveyor, load the delivery van, repeat. Normally, you're getting paid per van, with additional money depending on the goods and bonuses. And because it's 3x this week, the numbers are obviously higher. So let's see whether that actually makes this job good. Grab the first pallet, lift it, move it over, and there we go. 1 down, 2 more. Honestly, the forklift controls aren't terrible. It's just slow, really slow. And I'm already starting to understand why this isn't going to be my favorite activity. You can optimize your route, you can pay attention to the goods, you can chase the extra bonuses. But at the end of the day, I'm driving a forklift around a warehouse. Let's load this final pallet. Done. And we're out. That took around 2 minutes. Payout? About $14,400. And that tells me everything I need to know. Around 2 minutes for $14,000 versus roughly $52,000 for a similar amount of time with Safeguard. Yeah, I'm not choosing the forklift. Unless you actually enjoy Forklift Simulator inside GTA, then have fun. Next up, we've got Safeguard deliveries, and this one already feels more promising. We're basically moving high-value cargo around the city inside an armored stockade. Jewelry, antiques, counterfeit goods, whatever Rockstar considers normal business. The important part is keeping the truck intact, because the more damage you take, the more money you lose. And unlike the previous job, we've got enemies coming after us too. So we've got 2 things to worry about: traffic and people trying to blow up our delivery truck. Lovely. All right, let's start. We've got a little over 2 miles to go. I'm using the tactical SMG because I don't want to spend the entire drive trying to shoot enemies with something awkward. And honestly, the enemies aren't even the biggest problem. They're shooting at the truck, but I'm not losing nearly as much money from that as I am when I crash. So I'm changing strategy. Forget trying to kill everybody. Just get the truck there. Drive clean. Avoid traffic. Don't smash into everything. And get paid. We're almost there. 2 minutes in. Truck's still alive. And delivery complete. About $52,000. Now that's more like it. Around 2.5 minutes for roughly $52,000? That's actually respectable. Obviously, your payout can change depending on the distance and how much damage you take. But compared with QuickiePharm, I already know which one I'd rather repeat. Safeguard goes straight into the actually worth trying category. All right, after actually playing through these jobs, here's where I stand. QuickiePharm? I'd skip it for money grinding. The long drives and damage mechanic can really hurt the payout. Firefighter? Fun activity, decent payout, but too slow for me if the only goal is money. Forklift Operator? Probably my last choice. The multiplier sounds good, but the actual payout doesn't justify spending your time there. Safeguard? Now we're talking. Shorter missions, decent payout, and the biggest thing, you can make good money without spending your entire evening doing it. And then there's paper route. If you've got an efficient way of moving around the map, especially something like the Oppressor, this one becomes much more interesting. 4 minutes for around $66K in my test? I'll take that. But remember, your exact results can change depending on your route and how efficiently you complete the deliveries. So if I had to rank the activities I tested today, for pure money making, Safeguard deliveries are one of my top picks. Paper route is right up there as well, especially if you can move around Los Santos quickly. Firefighter is more of a play it because it's fun activity. QuickiePharm is something I'd only touch if I wanted to complete the content or unlock its rewards. And Forklift? I'm leaving that forklift exactly where I found it. I'm not going back. And that's the real difference between seeing 3x or 4x on the weekly update screen and actually making money from it. The multiplier doesn't tell you the whole story. You have to look at the payout, the time, the distance, and how much effort the job actually requires. Because a smaller payout that you can repeat quickly can easily beat a bigger looking reward that takes forever. So if you're jumping into GTA Online this week, don't just pick an activity because Rockstar put a giant 3x or 4x next to it. Try it once. See what you make. Then decide whether it's worth keeping in your grind. For me, Safeguard and Paper Route are the two I'd actually come back to. And if you want, I can also. Test the 4x hot ring races and free mode bonuses and see whether they can beat these activities for money per hour. If this helped you figure out where your time is actually worth spending this week, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more GTA Online weekly tests and money guides, and I'll see you in the next one.